This video was recorded over 2 different days, and I had camera problems, audio problems. You'll see.
Welcome back to the hangar. I hope you enjoyed that previous video where last week I posted the video of me doing my final ride on a float plane. The check ride is done solo, and you have to do 5 takeoffs and landings, and the instructor has to be happy with your takeoffs and landings before he lets you go, and then you got to do 5 solo. You got to spend an hour of solo time, what have you. So anyways, I'm back here at the hangar and getting my airplane ready for its first flight. A couple little tiny things I'm going to do right now first before I haul this thing out and do its final taxi test. I think I've mentioned that before. I haven't done it yet. One of the things is, of course, to put vents in the windows. Here's the vent. Now, I purchased these, and it says in the instructions to drill a 1 1/4 inch or 55 millimeter hole. Problem with 1 1/4 inch is that 1 1/4 inch is actually 56.5 millimeters, 57, somewhere around there. Makes the hole too big. Let me show you. I'll grab my test piece. As you can see, there's 3 holes in here. Anyways, this is the 1 1/4 inch hole. You squeeze this together and you fit this in here, and there we go. And it fits in there. Oh yeah, sure. But I don't know if you can see that, but it wiggles around and is loose and, you know, sloppy fit. It would be a very sloppy fit. So I went to a 1 1/8 inch drill bit, hole saw, and tried that because it's 54 millimeters, and I figured I can do that and then sand it out. And that's this hole here. Now, you would need a lot of sanding. You have to take 1 millimeter off, which is a 1/2 millimeter, and you have to be perfectly round with it. If you're oblong even a little bit, this thing will jam. So I ordered a 55 millimeter metric hole saw, and which is 2 5/32 of an inch. If you can read that right there. It's got a little spring in there to pop out the piece that you're drilling in. That was like 20 bucks or something, or 15, somewhere around. It was cheap. And I drilled the hole. It fits, but it was just the tiniest bit tight. Taking a little bit of sandpaper and sanding it out, and it fit perfectly. I think this was the one. Oh, maybe this was the one. Yeah, this was the one here. Oh, I can't remember which hole it is. They're so close. Oh, no, it is this one. As you can tell, this was not rehearsed. Okay, there we go. So, there is the vent, and it will close. Wait, there we go. It will close all the way, is tight. I can rotate it a bit. Probably has to be sanded just a little bit more, and when you're inside, you can pop it out and then rotate it and pop it back in. Anyways, I think you get the picture. So now that I'm happy I have the right size hole, it's a tight fit, so a little bit of sanding will make it a little more loose, but I want it snug, because the last thing you want is the thing just popping open randomly and being loose, because once that happens, you can't make the hole smaller. So there we go. And this is just a scrap piece of fiberglass. It's 2 layers, but the same thickness as the windscreen. So fingers crossed that it works out right. My only concern is that the windshield does have a bit of a curve to it, and then it flattens out. So I got to pick a spot that is flat as possible, and go ahead and drill. Now, if I make a mistake, well, it's possible. All I'll do is glue a piece on there. I do plan on replacing all the plexiglass on this airplane next winter, this coming winter, because the way the windshield was originally cut had sharp edges on it. You know, like instead of a nice rounded, it was, you know, cut and then a turn, and I didn't like that. It made it difficult to mount. That's going to be a lot of work, but I am going to redesign that slightly. I want a nice smooth curve so that the weather stripping sits flat against it, because right now with those sharp turns, the weather stripping kind of puckers a little bit. And if I ever get caught in a rainstorm, the water is going to get through that a little bit. Or landing on a lake, you know, it splashes. Yeah. So I'll have to be careful of that this year, and maybe put a little bit of a silicone inside there just to seal up that bit of a gap. But in the winter, that windscreen is going to be changed. And I'm debating, do I want to keep it that smoked gray, or do I want to go clear white? I'm thinking clear white, just a clear screen, no smoked. You know, it looks cool with a darker tint, the tinted plexi. Excuse me. But I think if I'm going to change it, I'm going to just go to clear, straight up clear. I have sunglasses. I can wear sunglasses if it's too bright. You know what I mean? But if it's a little dark, if it's a cloudy day, that kind of stuff, it's yeah. So again, like I say, it looks cool, but I think clear would be better. So that'll be in the winter after I do a bunch of flying this year. So I'm going to cut these in, and we'll do one more little tiny job, and then put some fuel in this thing, back it out of the hangar, and take it for a high-speed taxi test, low-speed taxi test, all that kind of stuff. And I will clamp the cameras along there and record that, so you guys come along with me. Then back here in the hangar to do a full inspection on everything, make sure that nothing shook loose, that's supposed to stay tight, and make sure that everything that's moving is moving. And of course, checking my new brakes, because I got the new wheels and brakes. It's hydraulic brakes in there now. That has to be tested as well. So, yeah, so pitter patter, let's get at her. Onward. All right. The flattest part is right here. Actually, that's good. That's the flattest part there. That'd be a good spot for it. That would be a good spot for it, right there. And equally on the opposite side. Because then, yeah, that's where she's going. Okay, once I drill this hole, there is no going back. Yeah. A little lower. Yeah, maybe a little lower. Right there.
2 very boring minutes later.
There we go. Okay. Oh, there's a piece that fell through. Actually made a very nice hole. Kind of a little rough. I'm going to get some 600 grit and smooth that right out. And get that... oh, microphone's still on me? Yes, it is. Good. Yeah, thought I lost you for a second.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Afterwards, I don't want to take too much off. I don't want it to be loose. Okay, I can pop it out. And I can pull it in. And it sits, well, yeah, it sits flush. Will it survive in a heavy rain? No, but am I going to fly in a heavy rain? No. Okay, there we go. Installed. I like that. Okay. I think I'm going to do the same on the other side. But let's move you so you can see my face. It's not smoked, so it clashes with the smoked glass plexi, but that's okay. Neat event, because on hot days, if I'm flying with the doors on, myself and it's hot, at least I can open up, get some ventilation going into it. And I'm definitely going to put one on the other side too. Just going to measure it on the other side so that they're on the, kind of symmetrical. And put the other one on. So you've seen me put the first one on. I'm just going to go put the second one on and come back to you guys a little later with something more interesting for you to watch. Be right back.
The next day.
Welcome back. Yeah, I was going to have a short video about me aborting a taxi test because the wheels were rubbing. Well, that same night I shimmed the wheels, managed to pick up the right size shims at a local hardware store, and the wheels were shimmed, and I did the taxi test today. So I'm going to cut to that video of me doing the taxi test here, and I did a couple of high-speed runs, checking everything out. I got close to lifting off. But I didn't because this is a taxi test. Brakes worked beautifully. And a couple little squawks I had. One camera wasn't working right. I figured out what that was. And also my two-way radio. I couldn't plug the pilot's headphone into the pilot's side jack because my camera mount was in the way. So I plug it into the co-pilot side. What I discovered is that can't do that because the push to talk on the pilot side only activates the microphone on the pilot side, not the co-pilot side. And yeah, so I was making radio calls to nowhere. That's okay. There's nobody out here. Let me spin you around. I don't know if you can tell, but it's very, very smoky. Those forest fires flared back up again, and we are in a high alert right now. There's evacuations going on, and we are covered in smoke. There is a hydroelectric tower out there that's about 3 miles away, and I can just barely see it. So visibility is crap. So no flying today, but I will be flying either tomorrow or the day after. The wind is beautiful right now. It's virtually no wind. It's coming out of the north, based on that windsock over there. It's coming out of the northwest. Yeah, Sunday, this coming Sunday, today is Friday, the conditions should be good for me to do some taxi tests. I might be here early in the morning. I'm going to check the weather forecasts, well, tomorrow morning early. If it's nice, then I'm going to fly this airplane for the first time, and I will bring you guys along. Initial flight. So everything else is done on the Challenger. She needs to be washed because it's covered in dust. So yeah, but the dust isn't going to really affect it for flying. It just looks dirty when you're close up. Other than that, everything else worked really well. I'm going to yeah, we'll cut it short right now and cut into the taxi test video, and I'll be right back when that is all done, after you see a couple of highly edited high-speed taxi testing. Be right back.
should make an explanation of what's going on here. I am testing the brakes at higher RPMs. Previously my brakes did not hold, and it rolled at about 3,500 RPM. So I took this up to almost 5,000 RPM, which is a lot. That's cruising RPM, and it did not move. So this is a brake test just to make sure that the new brakes are holding like they're supposed to, and they are. So I'm quite happy with this. And I'm going to jump in with narrations here and there on this taxi test video.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'm only running this camera on the wing because, like I mentioned earlier, the other cameras weren't working, and I am on 27, the active runway with the wind direction, and my first high-speed taxi test. On this one I took it up to about 25 knots and then slowed down and decided to do a backtrack, and so you'll see that here in a second here. And this was again testing the brakes on this one and the steering. I backtrack and do this all over again, but there we go. Now I'm slowing down, so I'll cut the backtracking out and show you the next taxi test. And here I am back at the start of the runway 27. I'm going to make a U-turn back here. Now I've been making radio calls, and but again, because the inside camera that looks at my face wasn't working right, it wasn't picking up the radio calls, and yeah, whatever. That's all got to be worked on. Hey, it's all work in progress. So this taxi test, the second run down the runway, I go near full throttle on this at first, and then I back it down a bit because it was getting light. I mean, it was ready to lift off, and I hit about 35 knots as I was glancing down there, and so I backed it down because I did not want to fly on this taxi test. I was just doing a taxi test, so seeing if I can keep it down a center line, if I could maintain control with it, and what the braking was from the higher speeds, and it all worked out good. So at the end of this one, I depart the runway at the midpoint and taxi on my way back to the hangar, and I'll cut a bit of that part out, and well, that's the taxi testing.
2 hours later.
Well, wasn't that interesting? Well, maybe, maybe not, don't know. But the taxi testing was successful. I took it up to about 30 knots, just below the speed 30. I think I hit 35 at one point. It was getting very light, and at that point, throttled down and started applying brakes. Used up maybe less than half the runway. I did not want to fly today. I just wanted to shake things loose, or see if things shake loose. Let me rephrase that. Nothing shook loose. Everything is fine. It's working good. It is ready for flight. And so that is the next video that I'm going to have after this one drops. We're going to take it for a flight and bring you guys along. I'm hoping the smoke clears from the forest fires, but if they don't, well, it'll be a smoky run. It's going to be just landing here in the water, landing here on the runway. No water landings. Not until I get about a dozen landings and takeoffs here. And I've got it kind of dialed in as to what the speeds are going to be with these floats and so on. And approach speeds. I'm going to approach this runway when I'm landing as if I'm on water. So, which is effectively a soft field landing, which is what this is a soft field. So, yeah, that's it for now. Thank you very much for following along. Appreciate all the likes, and I definitely appreciate all the comments and the encouragement. And we will see you back here on the runway next time. Bye for now. Oh, forgot. It's not hockey season anymore, but you still need to keep your stick on the ice. Bye for now.